So when kids grow up consuming this kind of media, like where it's the show is just to sell toys and every episode they let the bad guys go. I think it's different with like a Super Sentai show where you have like a monster of the week and you're actually kind of stopping the bad guys, and like the main supervillains responsible for all the monsters, still are never really held accountable or brought to justice. But if you grew up watching like a show like this, like your brain kind of forms in a way where you think like this is normal, this is how things are, and this is how you write a story and how you write a character. So then some people, they kind of go and will write a web comic where it's kind of like episodic, where like the bad guy kind of keeps, you have recurring bad guys that keep coming back is what I'm saying. And just again going back to the morality is dead, Hollywood killed it. It's like the whole idea of like how to actually stop evildoers, how to break these cycles of suffering, like how to put an end to this. It's just like it's not even in people's minds. They don't even think about it. They don't even understand. And when they're writing their stories, it's just like, oh well, now this guy shows up, and then this happens, and then they're gonna bring him back a little bit later. And a lot of these shows were made to sell the toy lines too, right? So a lot of these characters really don't have much development. It's just like they show up just as an excuse to be in the episode, just to get shown to be a little advertisement because there's a toy available. And it's most of them are kind of pointless and they're just not interesting. So what I'm just saying is like applying this to web comics. It's like if you're following this like mold of storytelling where it's kind of like episodes, and you kind of get to a point where nothing really matters. Like what's the point of it all? Like especially if when you're writing your web comics, if you don't have a toy line and you're using the kind of toy line format for telling your stories, it's really just going to become pointless and meaningless. And when that happens, it's not interesting. And why am I going to want to read a story where who cares? What does it matter what happens when you fight the bad guy if the bad guy's always going to come back, and like the problem's never going to be solved? And it's like cyclical, circular storytelling where it's just happens over and over again, always the same thing. It's boring.